What's up guys, this is your host ALTERCATION and I'm here to increase your English vocabulary. And this book inspired me to do it. The book is Word Power Made Easy by Norman Lewis, and I'm sure you will try to increase your English vocabulary by cramming through obscure number of words through English dictionary and give up after a week or so. Because the thing is, the way you approach the problem was at fault. The way we're gonna approach this problem by using the most interesting and most logical method that I have ever came across, and it is called etymology. Etymology is when we study the timeline of each and every word and how they have adapted their current form and from which language they are taken. I know it sounds tedious and boring, but stay with me, it's really interesting and will help you in the long run. Etymology will help you realize how large number of words have the same root word, and just by learning that single root word, you will be able to understand several other words. Because you see, the most of the English words are interconnected, and I assure you, by the time you are finished working this series with me, you will no longer be the same person. You will start to say English from a wholly different perspective. No doubt you will have more words to express yourself and your thoughts articulately. But increasing your vocabulary doesn't merely mean learning the definition of large number of words. I will make this more interesting by using some visuals and techniques. Okay, enough talk. Without any further ado, let's jump into the world of etymology. You see, in English language, every word has its own history. And in this video, we will learn a good deal just by looking through the origin of every word. Most of the English words are either taken from Greek or Latin, or in some cases even French. See this tree, you will see all these words built on the same root word, that is ego. Ego itself has been taken over from Latin as an important English word that is commonly used to denote one concept of oneself. Ego meaning I. I is the greatest concern in egoist mind and the most overused word in egotist vocabulary. Keep these words differentiated. Egoist, egotist. There is an extra T in egotist. Egoist attitude to life is simple, direct and overboard. Every decision they make is based on one simple question: what's in it for me? If your greed and ruthless desire to self-advancement hurt other people, that's too bad. This is a tough word, pal, dog eat dog and all that, and I for one not going to get left behind. If you are an egotist, you would have one string to your conversational bow, namely yourself. Let me give you an example. Have you heard of all the money I'm making? Did I tell you about my new amorous conquest? Let me give you my opinion because I'm practically expert at everything. You are boastful to the point of being obnoxious. Now that we know what's the difference between egoist and the egotist, let's move on to different word, that is egocentric. If you're an egocentric, you consider yourself the center of the universe. You're an extreme form of egoist. There are several series which has egocentric character in their shows, like the male protagonist in What's Wrong with Secretary Kim. Now let's move on to a different word, that is egomaniac. If you're an egomaniac, you carry egoism to such an extreme that your needs, desires or interests have become a morbid obsession, a mania. Egoist or egotist is obnoxious. Egocentric is intolerable, but egomaniac is dangerous and slightly mad. Now let's move on to a different tree. Let's see all these words which are built on the same root word, that is alter. In Latin, the word for other is alter. A number of variable English words are built on the same root word, like altruism, alteration, alternate, alternative, altercation. Altruism is a philosophy practiced by altruist. Altruist is devoted to the welfare of others. Let's move on to a different word, that is alternate. If you alternate, you skip one, take the other, and if you have no alternative, you have no other choice. You see how easy it is to understand the meaning of these words once you realize they all come from the same source. Keeping in mind, alter means other, ego meaning I, you can quickly understand words like altercation, alter ego, alteration. Alteration is of course a change, a making into something other. When you alter your plans, you make other plans. An altercation is a verbal dispute. When you have an altercation with someone, you have a violent disagreement, a fight with words. But why? Because you have other ideas, plans or opinion than those of the other side of the argument. Altercation is, by the way, stronger than quarrel or dispute. Sentiment is more heated. Now let's move on to a different word that is one of my favorite words, that is alter ego. Alter ego combines alter and ego. Literal translation would be other I. Generally refers to someone with whom you are so close that you both do the same things, think alike, react similarly, and almost mirror images of each other. Any such friend is your other I, your other self, and your alter ego. Alter ego also means your second self, a different version of oneself. One of my favorite movies, that is Fight Club, based on the same concept. I'm sure you have all watched it. If you haven't, then you definitely should. This was it for this video. Bye guys.